These are the images known to the world that marked the end of the Vietnam War. Saigon, capital of South Vietnam, fell into forces of the Communist North on the 30th of April 1975. For many Vietnamese, however, their memories are somewhat different. The conflict cost over 3 million lives. Even today, many still search for the remains of their loved ones. My family is among those. My mother, Dương Thị Xuân Quy, was North Vietnam's first woman war correspondent. She was killed in 1969 while traveling with a group of Viet Cong guerrillas in central Vietnam. They were hiding from South Korean Marines, allies of the Americans. The guerrillas escaped, but my mother had been wounded and was left behind. She was never seen again. My mother's remains still have not been found. My family has visited the area around Da Nang many times. Like others, we excavated the entire area by hand. We have even employed clairvoyants. All that's been found are a single button and a hair clip. Both possibly is hers, possibly not. We are, of course, no isolated case. There is barely a family in this country who doesn't still grieve for someone who was lost in the conflict. The past is never truly gone. On the day that Saigon fell, I was among children marching through the streets of Hanoi in celebration. Just days earlier, my father, also a war reporter, had returned from the war. He finally broke the news of my mother's death to the family. Although her death had been suspected, my grandmother trembled and grasped the side of a cupboard. She stood like that, in silence, for a long time. We had to mourn my mother's death at the same time as we celebrated the return of my father and the end to war. In sunlight, we laughed. In darkness, we cried. We were also hoping for reunion with the other half of the family that lived in the south. But our excitement was misplaced. Some family members were imprisoned for fighting the North. Some chose exile. Even today in my family, one half talks of the conflict as the Vietnam War, the other half as the war against America. Yet we survived. On the spot where my mother was last seen, we erected a marble stone in her memory. It comforts us to know her soul has somewhere to rest. But the questions about what happened to her, where her body lies, don't go away.